Hold up. 1 minute. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hello, hello. You hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. Hold up. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. What's up, bro?
What's
How you doing?
up? Good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm so blessed. I'm just so excited to be on this interview with you, man. I run a show. I'm 15 years old, uh, and it's one of my interviews with D1 players, and I'm just such a big fan of your catch, your catch that
Oh,
you had, the plays that you make, everything you do in college football. Whether it's passing, receiving, catching, everything like that. I'm really just inspired by your work ethic and the way you play the game of football. So
thanks,
so glad
man.
join me on the show today.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess that could get us started here on Jackson Share Sports Radio. I am so glad to introduce the one and only Zachary Lopini Katoa on the show. What a blessing it is here on Jackson Share Sports Radio, being joined by one of the best running backs at BYU currently. He's a superstar running back with incredible talent and just amazing work ethic. An All-State 2014 All-State selection. Why did you choose BYU? What were the options? Because I know you were recruited and chosen. Other colleges like Oregon State, Army, and Utah State, wanted you on your team. Why did you choose BYU?
Right, yeah, that's a good question. I actually Kalani Sitake was a big reason for that. He recruited me and was high on me when he was at Utah, and then right when he got the job at Oregon State, he offered me and like committed there prior to serving a mission. Um, so I committed to Oregon State when I was out serving in Kansas City. Kalani got the job at BYU, so I thought it was a perfect opportunity to stay home, play where my family could come to the games and watch, and then play for a guy who cares about me, and saw my potential. And so, yeah, a lot of it was Kalani, and then just being able to play close to home was another, huge benefit of playing at BYU.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's paid off, especially this season. Um, for sure. So, you had this season, you had just an incredible year, rushing about 444 yards, just absolute beast, 5 touchdowns, and then receiving also. I mean, you're both ways, man. You can catch, you can run, you can do it all. Playing at BYU, 100%. And another question I guess I have is how did you first get into football? I'm really interested.
I guess it's definitely something that I inherited. My dad played. He played, and his brothers played, and my brother played. A ton of my cousins played. I have cousins playing right now. I actually play against my cousin coming up the last game of the season at USC. I have a cousin who plays linebacker over there, so it's definitely something I inherited. So it was part of just growing up. We always just threw the ball around in the yard. Me and my brother have an older brother. Me and him would just just play backyard football type of thing. He'd beat up on me, and it made me a better player. It definitely something that's in the family.
Wow, that's awesome, honestly. And playing your brother, cousin, USC last week of the season, that is definitely going to be a game to mark your calendars as a BYU fan, USC fan. That's going to be a big game. So I'm excited to watch that for sure. Especially I know a lot of people have said this just throughout the season. What has this season been like? I've heard from basketball players, they had X's on certain spots of the floor where you could stand, and COVID testing, stuff like that. Going into March Madness, I heard people, you had to check into a hotel and just sit there for a couple hours. What was this season like compared to others?
Oh yeah, it was definitely one of a kind. It's like we didn't know week to week if we are going to play, and so it's hard to fully mentally prepare. And I'm sure a lot of the teams will tell you that there's just so much uncertainty that you didn't really know what to expect. So it's harder. And the game of football, especially at the college level, is so mental that a lot of it was just so hard to prepare at all this season because so much is just focusing in and knowing and getting your mind right. And so it was good. It helped us to learn how to just roll with the punches, whatever came our way, just take it day by day because really that's what we had to do.
Yeah, 100%. I've heard that from a lot of people this season, especially. It's been just such a challenging and just rough year. Well, also, what was Zach Wilson like? What was that whole connection like? What was that? Just him going second overall to the Jets. What was him as a teammate? Was he cool? What did he
Yeah.
have any fun personalities, I guess, about him?
Yeah, I mean, he was a good teammate, he just loved football. He's everything that everybody says he is, you know? He's like football is his life. He just I mean, obviously he's like a normal kid too, like he's fun and jokes around and I lived with him for a year, like my junior year. We were roommates and we would have our fun, but he was watching film all the time. He was doing his thing and for us, I think as his teammates, for the guys who are playing right now, see, like how possible it is to go to the next level. We were rubbing shoulders with the number 2 overall pick every single day, and we saw what he was doing, what his worth ethic was like, and so we know what the formula is to if we want to play at the next level. So I think Zach definitely inspired and like paved the way for us as his teammates, which a lot of our other teammates did as well.
Yeah, 100%. And definitely someone at that caliber, at that level, definitely can rub off against other teams, teammates like you, and especially other teammates on the team that got drafted from BYU as well. Um, so you're both a rushing and receiving back out of the backfields, and honestly, I would love to talk about this catch for a second in the Boca Raton bowl game. That, to be honest, that was just, I mean, what a throw by Zach. Just to break it down, steps back, what a throw, just an amazing throw, pressure in his face, and just the extension. What was that play like? Bring me through that play. I mean, that was just
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. You were in the air. It was like, wow. I have no words for it. So sick.
Yeah, that'll definitely be for sure one of my favorite plays, I'm sure. That I'll look back on when I'm done. But yeah, I'm supposed to just basically, it's a play action. I'm basically like the last read there. I'm supposed to sneak out, and so I snuck out, and the DN, I'm pretty sure it was, or the outside backer peeled, and he saw me. He recognized the late, so he was running. So it was a tight window for Zach to throw in, and he threw it like he said, with pressure in his face and off his back foot, I think he was, and he just let that thing fly. And I saw it, and I knew like I would have to just run it out and then just jump if I wanted a chance. And
Wow.
so I was running and then the ball went over my head, and right when I lost it over my head, I just dove. And then yeah, I caught it. But I don't know, it happened so fast. But if you look at me after, I'm like looking up, and a lot of people thought I was like, flexing or whatever. But I was literally looking at the screen to make sure I caught it because I couldn't even believe it myself. But yeah, it was definitely it's gonna be a great memory. One of my favorite plays for sure of my whole football career.
Yeah, 100%. And they also like review. They were going to review it. They saw if it was a catch or not. Look it up. Definitely. That
Yeah.
that must have been crazy. I
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even know if you caught it, right? You thought you.
Yeah, I had a good idea I did, but I was like, what if I was unsure just because the full extension and I fell on the ball and made sure I was just making sure that I had my hands under it as I went down. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So back to, just what's the absence of Zach Wilson gonna do? What is the plan going into next season? What do you as a player plan to do going into next season without Zach Wilson, and having that number 2 overall pick quarterback on your team? What do you plan? What is the team's plan? I should say.
I just think the whole culture of our team last year was great. Zach played a big part in that, but it was definitely more of a cultural thing. We learned how to win. We learned how to be aggressive as an offense, score a lot of points as an offense, and play as like a really a dangerous unit. So I think we just build off of that. Um, we saw what it takes, and yeah, just do the things that we did last year, but build off of that. Play into our strengths. We have a lot of great talent at quarterback that I think we'll do great this year. You'll see similar things that we saw last year on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to watch you guys play this season. It's going to be a good college football season, especially with fans back. Also, just walk me through real quick. What was that fan without fans? Some of the games. What was that like?
It was so weird. I tell people how weird it was when I scored my first touchdown last season. Just
Yeah.
because I'm used to like anybody who's like made a touchdown in college football, you just hear like this eruption from the crowd when you cross the line, and so it was so weird. I thought there was a penalty or something when I was breaking away because it was silent in Navy at Navy Stadium, and so yeah, that was weird. I was like, I scored and then it was just quiet, and I turned and there's no flags or nothing, and but um, I don't know, it was cool though because we got to just create our own energy. You saw if you looked at us this season, like we were loving it. We were partying on the sideline. People were dancing.
Oh yeah.
Um, we definitely just gotta make the best out of the situation.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys did, you definitely did. You pushed through, you made it to a bowl game. You guys excelled. You did great this season. And a lot of players went to the NFL, which was amazing, for sure. And, another question just about you, what makes you as a person different than anyone else that plays college football? Because I know there is definitely stuff, whether it's, agility, versatility, mobility, stuff like that, that just makes you different from other people. What do you think is the one thing that makes you different?
That's a good question. I think that's what we do as college football players. We just try to find something to stand out, like playing to our strengths. And I think my thing was always like I didn't ever want to be bad at something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to ever have something where a coach said, "Oh, we got to take him out for this play because he can't do it." And so my thing was always just any position, any skill position on the offense, I want to be able to know what they do and how they do it. I don't want to be seen as, a running back who runs a running back type of route. I want to run a route like, our best receiver runs a route. So I always just want to be versatile, and never, have a moment where I can't be on the field.
Definitely. Definitely. You did that this season. So that showed for sure. Just last question here. This is more of about the future. What do you plan to do after this next season? Do you plan, try to take it to the next level? I know a bunch of your guys got drafted this year. What do you plan to do after this season? Because I know it's probably on your mind. And you're a good elusive power back that can literally do anything. To be honest, you remind me of a mini Clyde with Hilaire, one that can catch a lot better though. So I definitely see that. Um, and I'm just curious about what do you think you're gonna do in the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think as far as the next level and everything, that I feel like that's a dream, it'd be a blessing if that's part of the plan and for my life. I preparing like it is, like I can, I think that's what everybody's trying to do is just preparing like this is their last year because you never know when it's going to be. So yeah, I definitely am preparing like, this is my final season, but obviously I have another one if I wanted to because of COVID. But yeah, just my mentality is just put all my efforts into this off season and this season and see where it takes me from there, and then basically make a decision when it's closer in front of my face, type of thing. But
Yeah,
definitely a dream of mine.
yeah, for sure. Definitely keep it in mind because you got the skill, you got the talent, and if those recruiters see what you did last season and what they're gonna see you do this season, it's gonna be great for the
Thank
NFL
you, thank you.
playoffs. So I'm excited to see you and BYU do great this season. It's gonna be great, and I hope we can do another interview pretty soon. Run it back.
Sounds good, man.
Thank you so
Appreciate it,
much.
man.
Thank you for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. See you later, man.
Well, take care.
You too.